Today we're going to talk about VAT, bank accounts, contracts, and payment methods for artists and designers, and all the essentials that you need for starting out a business. So this is a video request from one of you guys. I'm going to read the message, but I'll keep the name private because I don't know if the person wants me to say the name. Hi Fabio, I'm Brazilian, graduated in visual arts. Since last year I'm studying a lot of Blender, 𝘊𝗶𝗹𝗹𝗃 and seeing all of your interviews. Last month, after I posted an image in blenderartist.org, I was contacted to do a job, but I wasn't prepared for that. Without too many details, after 2 weeks, my client and me agreed that I didn't have sufficient knowledge to continue the job. After this punch on the stomach, I'm asking you to post a video talking about the process that a novice has to improve. Which skills, how to acquire them, what is necessary, what VAT number is it imperative to work abroad? Too many questions. Thanks for your... I will answer the skills part of this message in another video. I'm not going to talk about the technical requirements like which computer you need or software or if you need to have a studio. I'm just going to assume that you're a freelancer trying to start your small business from home, working with what you have. I will focus on the financial and legal part because I think many artists and designers do not know this stuff. So, stick around, this might be very useful to you. Now, please understand that I'm not a lawyer, shocking. I'm not an accountant, so please double and triple check this stuff. My video is only meant to raise awareness and maybe start a conversation. People maybe can contribute with comments in the comment section. When creating a business, you need to have the following things in place so that you can start getting paid for your business. First of all, you need to register your business. Some of you might listen to the stuff that I have to say and think that this stuff, it's not necessary. My experience is based working in Europe. You need to register your business. You have to talk to an accountant to see what business is best for what you're trying to do. There are many options out there. Some countries allow you to start without registering a business, but some other countries are a lot more strict when it comes to this. So you need to open a specific type of business and pay the insurance that you're required to pay. In Austria, for example, this is my example, I was able to start without a specific business, just declaring the money that I was making, and I had to pay the minimum insurance, but I quickly had to go and change that and open a proper business for my category, which also came with a higher insurance. Next, you will need to have a bank account, of course. Preferably, you want to have a bank account that is solely dedicated to your business. This account should then be linked to either PayPal, Payoneer, Stripe, especially if you live in a country with growing economy or maybe a poor country. I hate to use that expression. Whatever it is that your client prefers. You don't need to do that straight away. As jobs come in, you can then ask your clients how they prefer to pay you. PayPal or Stripe in some countries take only a few minutes to open, sometimes a few days, so don't worry about it too much. Just know that you have to ask your client how they plan to pay you. These are electronic payment systems that some countries use to overcome difficult and expensive international bank transactions. So don't be afraid to think that these are scams. I say it because in Europe people pay directly with bank transfer, which of course it's ideal, but the reality is that in a globalized economy, we need globalized solutions. At the same time, you need to be aware of the fees that are charged by these companies, and you need to take them in account when you offer your services, because it can become very expensive if you have to pay 2 or 3% in transfer fees. It's a lot of money sometimes. You will need a contract. A basic one will do. Some clients will ignore you, they might not sign it, they might play dumb, but as long as you have a contract, and the work proceeds even if they do not sign it. In most countries, emails are binding, meaning that you still have a legal cause even if the client ignores your request to signing the contract. Nevertheless, try and get them to sign. I will make a video on how to make a contract. I'm currently talking to a lawyer. He's going to help me out, so to show you what are the most important points when making a contract. So stay tuned for that video as well. To the question, do I need a VAT number? Is it vital to work abroad? Now, again, I'm not an accountant, so do consider talking to an accountant. Actually, this is another tip when starting a business. Getting an accountant early on, it's very beneficial and surprisingly very affordable. When I first started my business, my accountant fee for the year was about 500 euros and I had an income of about 20k, I believe. But the money that I was able to save on taxes and extra expenses really made up for it. And also I only had to pay the accountant fee at the end of the year, so don't be afraid to talk to an accountant. With that said, this video is supposed to spark awareness and interest in you in this topic. Now, bear in mind that there is a difference between sales taxes applied to products and sales taxes applied to services. I will concentrate mainly on the services because as artists and designers, this is what we do, we provide services. VAT, value added tax, it's a tax that you pay on each sale that you make. This tax is transferred to your client, meaning that your client pays it to you, but then you have to pay it to the government. VAT can be a bit confusing and complicated at first to understand because different countries have different agreements. In Europe, VAT is very much simplified between countries, although it's not the same amount in all countries. For example, in Austria, this is 20%. So, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to stick to 20%. The topic of VAT for us that we are from Europe gets a little bit trickier when dealing with other countries outside of Europe. Now, VAT, as I was saying, is specific for Europe and the UK, although I'm not sure what's gonna happen now with Brexit. Australia and New Zealand also have VAT, which is significantly lower than what we have in Europe. Countries outside of Europe and the UK have similar things. In the US and Canada, I think they have sales tax. When you register your business, depending on the type of business that you register, you also get a VAT number, which allows you to work and exchange goods or services with other businesses outside of your country without you having to charge any VAT or sales tax. And that is because VAT is designed mainly for private people only, not for businesses. Although you will see also businesses will have to pay it in some cases. So this also depends on the size of the transaction. Usually the transactions that get taxed are the big ones. So as a freelancer or a small design company, I would not worry too much about it, at least for now. Maybe one day when your company will be very big, this will be something that you have to worry about. But as they say, these are nice problems to have. Now, when it comes to your company, depending on the country that you live in, some countries allow you to earn up to a certain amount without you having to charge VAT. Afterwards, you become a VAT payer. So for example, if you're a business in the UK, I think, but then again check, if you earn up to 85,000 a year, you don't have to charge VAT. In Italy, there is a very similar situation. I think the threshold is 65k. Then afterwards your business needs to charge VAT. There are different types of businesses that you can open depending on the country and on the amount of money that you make. It's very important that you consult your accountant. Again, it's probably the 5th time that I'm saying this, to see what makes more sense for a country like Brazil and for the type of company that you're trying to open. I need you to be aware of what VAT is because a lot of people starting out, they get it wrong or they simply ignore it. And I know many artists and designers that got in trouble because they did not get their stuff in order when they first started. One rule of thumb for within Europe, for example, is that as an artist or a designer, if you're a business that it's required to pay VAT in your own country, anything that people based in your own country will buy from you will be subject to VAT. It does not matter if the person is a private person or a business. Within a specific country, you always pay VAT. So in other words, if I'm a registered business in Austria and I make an image for an Austrian client, also based in Austria, that client, even though it's a business, they will pay VAT on the image that I sell. And then I will have to take that VAT and return it to the government, usually each quarter. If I instead, I'm in Austria and I sell an image to a client in Germany, and the client is a registered VAT business in Germany, since the product or service will be used outside of Austria, my client will not have to pay VAT, even if the VAT rates might be different between Austria and Germany. If my client is a normal private person and not a business, even across the countries, they will have to pay VAT because VAT, as I said before, applies mainly to private persons. This type of logic is very similar when doing business, say, from the US towards Europe or from Europe to the US and the other countries. If you are a registered business dealing with another registered business, chances are that you do not pay sale tax or VAT, or you might have to pay import tax on material goods, but that's a whole nother discussion. One more thing about VAT in Europe, but then again, I'm not sure if this differs from a country to another. In Europe, when you buy something relevant to your business and you might have to pay VAT, when you sell something and you charge VAT, you get back the VAT that you spent on your own business. So say that I buy a computer and I spend 400 euros of VAT. When I sell something and I get 400 euros of VAT from my client, I will get to keep the VAT. Now, why I say that? It does happen that some smart clients will close a project with you. You make an offer, say, of $1,000, and then at the end, the client will say, can you send me a bill with VAT included? So you're young, you're just starting out, you're not an expert. You say, sure, it makes no difference to me. Then you send the bill, and your client basically gets a 20% discount on your offer, because the VAT that they pay, they will get it back when they will make a sale. So instead of making $1,000, you're only making $833.33 because the $167.39 is VAT that you have to pay back through your own tax authority in your country. And trust me, when the tax authority knows that you owe them money, they get mad. VAT in the beginning might seem like an extra cost for your performance when you have to send a bill to a client and you think, oh my god, now I have to add VAT on top of my price. But the reality is that VAT is a tax that basically everybody pays, and clients are used to pay it when they have to. But whatever money clients spend on their business is money that they can claim as costs for their business. So whilst it is the client job to try and not spend too much money, clients will always spend money that they know that will get them something in return. And that's basically it. Look, I'm not a tax consultant, I'm saying that again, and I beg you to again take everything that I've discussed here with a lot of caution. Go talk to your accountant. It will cost you probably $100 to have a chat with your accountant. You are possibly saving thousands of dollars in possible business in the future. This is basically all that you need to know to start a business from a legal point of view. With the time, you will need a lot more expertise. Of course, you will need to hire a lawyer to help you with perfecting your contract. You will need to get a better insurance, but these are only things that you have to worry about in the future. Look guys, I really hope that this helps. In the next video I will talk about the things that you should be looking out for when dealing with your first clients. But yeah, that's everything that I wanted to say. My name is Fabio Palvelli, thanks a lot for watching, see you guys next time.